That was fast. Okay, so I need to get everybody set up first on Zoom. So let me get the Zoom meeting going. Bear with us for a moment. Oh, I see Lance Myers is already in here hanging out. Hold on a moment. And start video. Lance, are you hearing me?
I hear you.
Okay, let me...
Logic captain.
Check. Okay. Just have to rearrange a few things on the old screen here.
What is that voice? Sorry, let me get my... Is that you, Carl?
I am here. I'm talking. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
So we just don't have video from you yet, Joanie.
Video. Oh, there we go.
There they are. Can everybody hear each other?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Lance, pleasure.
Lance!
Hey!
Your animation was beautiful.
Thank you. The voices were incredible. It's a thrill to work with such great talent.
Oh, thank you. That was so fun.
That was super fun. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited.
That was fun watching you guys reacting, Joanie. I just watched you guys the whole time.
It was so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved hearing all the voices and all of it come to life. I want more.
I know.
I want more.
Yeah, Lance, go ahead and make more. Let's
Lance,
start over.
You don't mind?
Let's all make more. Let's do it.
Yes. So everybody can hear. Can everybody hear them?
All good. Hello, testing.
Hello.
Up the donation goal. I like that idea, Rolo. Yes. Sounds good.
Everything's all good? More. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of viewers. I have never had this many viewers on my channel. So thank you, everybody. So you guys probably can't see this over Zoom, but I have the video here in the corner of my screen on Twitch.
Oh, yeah. Let me open that up.
If you look on Twitch.
Oh, yeah. Let me look at that too.
Twitch.tv.
Does anyone have any, first of all, does anybody have any questions? And Lance, yeah, amazing animation. And Joanie and Cole, amazing voices.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks.
Amazing writing.
And I think that was the first time tonight to hear the final score on it, and which was incredible. It was super fun to hear it with the full score on it now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it fits so well. Like I didn't even notice. Like it was just like you were just in it. You were just captured by it. Oh, I loved it. It was so good.
Well, thank you.
Whoops. There's the Twitch show. All right, cool.
I'm just still rearranging a few things. Hey, Zeke Pystrup is here on Twitch saying hi to us. Wow, who else we got? We got Chubode. See if I recognize some more people. Rollography.
Yep.
Spezix is even here. Dan is here. Very good.
Yeah.
Muscat Grape, my favorite, is here. Wow, okay. So, is my audio still working? Yes, it is. All right. So, wow, what the heck should we start with? You know, Dan Foster had a question, and he asked, I wanted to talk about Lance here for a moment, and Dan asked, what inspirations growing up led you to animation?
Ralph Bakshi was a big one for me when I was a kid. I thought, Ralph Bakshi's stuff was like darker and like it felt a little bit like inappropriate, which was intriguing to me as a kid. It's like watching that show Wizards was like a little. I think I was maybe a little too young to be watching Wizards, but there was something about that like really captivated me. I loved it. And his version of The Lord of the Rings, that rotoscope version that he did was so weird and cool. So yeah, he was one of my first animation role models. But then, of course, Mad Magazine. I was reading Mad Magazine all growing up.
Yeah, that shows definitely. You can tell there's kind of a Mad Magazine vibe to it in a way.
Yeah, I mean, this was like the '70s Mad magazine. I'm showing my age here, but my uncle was an artist, and he, had this big stack of these old school Mad magazines from the '60s and '70s. That were just so great. Good stuff.
That's awesome. So real quick, I discovered you randomly on some Flash artist's animation website.
Right.
I just Googled Flash animation or something, and I came up on a blog that some people had posted a link to one of your videos, and I watched it, and I was just like, I can't believe this is so good and funny, and I just had to look you up and find you.
Yeah, it was like a really short little, like a 30-second, maybe even less than 30-second, 15-second video I made about somebody, trying to find a bathroom.
Yeah.
And
it was Skip and Lester.
That was like, 12 years ago? In 12 years of working together, I never thought that video would lead to lead us to this point.
Yeah. What have you got behind you on the screen there? Is that a bunch of your doodling?
I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm an animator at a video game studio. That's my day job. That's my respectable day job. And since the pandemic, we've had to work from home. And at work, our office is just filled with these dry erase boards. So I took a photo of one that I usually just fill them up, and just to make everybody feel like they're working at the studio.
Cute.
Yeah.
Juter 1969 says, so is the Floridian references just stereotype, or are they really that interesting? Well, I grew up in Florida, and I thought that the Sunshine State is a perfect place to shipwreck a group of monsters from another dark dimension and have them experiencing the monsters of Florida as the people of Florida are experiencing the monsters from Monsteria.
I want an alligator. Deal.
What did you have, Lance? Did you have a favorite character that you did out of that monster show?
I liked them all. I mean, one of the things I like about working with you, Carl, is that you kind of push me, like in really interesting and cool directions. It's like you'll tell me, oh, this character is, like this, and here you'll send reference, and then I'll toss off a few ideas, and then like, oh no, that's not quite it, or hey, this is perfect, but change this, and somehow you're able to make it like way better than it was the first, on the first round. And I really love where we ended up with Draculana. I mean, she was like, up until the very ending, I like the very last change we did to her was like really late in the game, but we changed her hair and I added some to her, and somehow it all came together right at the last minute to like one of my ones now.
Yeah. It was such a better change that you did. Originally, we had her with sort of those hair horns, like what's her name from Disney?
Oh, it was Maleficent style.
Maleficent.
Oh, right.
She had like Maleficent type horns, and then I was in the back of my mind, I was a little worried, like, are we going to get in any trouble down the line because it really looks a lot like Maleficent. And then I hated going to Lance and saying, hey, Lance, I know we're a week away from being done, but what do you think about changing Draculana's hair? And like going, and we had done this on the Oracle of Outer Space, where it was just endless revisions and reworking and re-editing and re-recording. And I promised him and myself that we wouldn't do any of that crazy stuff this time around, that we would really lock it in the storyboarding and animatics. And then I had to just come to him in the last like 10 days and be like, were you going to be mad if I ask you to give her a different hairstyle?
Do you have pictures?
Do I have pictures?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Sorry, as Lance is explaining it, it'd be kind of fun to see that.
Yeah, for sure. I
cool.
definitely have.
It was
pictures.
like a Black Widow.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Oh yeah. The new one, the new version is like.
And it just.
So I'm putting it on screen there.
It fits
on
the
Twitch.
character.
Yeah, and it's a little hard to see, but if you really look close, and this was Carl's idea. Every now and then, a little spider comes out and crawls across her hair.
Oh, what?
Yeah, there's like spiders living in her hair.
That's amazing.
I'm trying to scroll through it to see if we can find one of them. because it's like a Black Widow thing, so it totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and it's her like personality is kind of venomous too. So it's like it
Yeah,
fits
it
so
fits her.
well. I love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lance called it a Black Widow beehive.
Yeah.
yes.
And because of that, I was like, well, oh, there's the spider. So if you look on
Oh,
Twitch,
yeah.
you can see it kind of crawling across
Oh, that's so fun.
and
I missed
going
that.
back into her hair.
Oh, I love it.
She's like queen of the
I was really
spiders.
happy with her eyes. I thought
Oh,
turned out
yeah.
really great. I wasn't sure how those like slit eyes would work out in conveying different emotions, but they really turned out.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, Lance, the eyes are amazing, especially later on. I love this shot where she kind of stands up. I'll play this for a second.
Why not is my vampire magic working now?
Found
Trying to get to
Matilda.
this yeah, she's like, anytime she looks surprised,
Yeah.
it's like the pupils get really tiny, little slits. It's just great.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, she was
little
fun.
Matilda. So, okay, what media did you use to make Matilda's close up when it's like
Yes.
nasty?
Oh, let's go back to that.
Oh,
Let's
I
go back
love
to
It
that.
that.
reminded me of Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Like, they would do those
like
extreme
little-
close-ups,
yep.
and they were just gross and crusty, and I loved it. That cracked me
Yeah,
up.
it's like
so
a little Ren and Stimpy moment, right?
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I
There she
even
is.
Googled Ren and Stimpy to like get reference of like how gross they actually got with it. How
Did you?
It was so good.
it turned out.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing. It looks so great.
It's so gross.
I know I'm slightly biased, but that was my favorite frame.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah,
cracked
that's so
up.
cool. That's a really great shot. Chubode asked in the chat, he said, Joanie and Cole, was it hard finding your voices for that monster show?
No.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, well,
Carl I show up and Carl's like, "Hey, just do you," but like a little bit more of something, and
A
so
little bit
we
more
found
you,
it.
basically.
Yeah, yeah, we found it like 5 minutes. But oh, cool. And then
It was-
Alligator
it's-
Earl was,
Oh, yeah. Cole did Alligator Earl also.
yeah, he was just,
ew.
a
Bring him up
hillbilly
here.
voice I've used in the past.
I
and-
told Cole he should cosplay.
yeah. I can get the mullet. I can
I
grow
think
that out.
that's probably one of my favorite characters, the
I love
wild
Alligator.
Floridian.
Oh, I love it.
So he's like, I'll give away, a bit of this right now, is that Alligator Earl and his group never really end up throughout the series, or throughout the first season at least. They don't really discover that there are monsters. Their whole thing is they have some other crazy interpretation of all of the strange weather events that are going on around them. And they have no clue that the monsters are causing this from their appearance on Earth. So
It's
he's
so
like,
great.
he's just coming up with his crazy conspiracy theories, and he's all like, people coming down here to Florida who don't belong here. And he's really like irritated that Florida is becoming a place for tourism in the 60s. So he's like old school Florida, wild Florida, keep it wild and free,
yeah, and your voice is like, so he does these crazy voices in the car sometimes, and it's like a mixture of, I call him, what was his name, Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
And he's like this loud, annoying, like,
Prospector.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you like slightly toned it down a bit, and then added like the conspiracy theorist to it.
It was fun.
And Matilda, I didn't know she didn't talk.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of, if you've watched Spirited Away, there's the big baby on Spirited Away, and that's where I kind of pulled that from. And so I just took all those sounds that it makes, and then I added in like gurgles and gross stuff.
Carl, did you record like video when she was doing the voices?
No, I don't think so. No.
Oh, did I
think
take?
you
Maybe
did.
I
It's on
did.
your phone,
But
yeah.
it was that I was dying watching her just record these little, just it's like a little chihuahua. It was so funny.
Yeah, I have like I have like hours of her just making crazy gargling and squeaking.
It was a whole thing.
There was a question in the chat that said, "How much have we written?" There's eight episodes written and partially recorded, and I'm hoping that this pilot can get us the funding to do a full season. And so this was written as a season. This is just episode 1, and all of these characters interact and go on their own. They all have their own storylines. There's all these references to things built into episode 1 that will pay off in episode 8, etc. There's actually a character that is in the background here in this shot that I don't know if Joanie can figure out who that is.
Oh yeah, it's your little.
So that's one of Joanie's other characters who becomes really important to the story later on by the time episode 8 happens. And
it's such a fun story.
Yeah, every episode is around, it's supposed to be at 11.5 minutes, but we just went to 13 on this just to fit all of the different starts of all the different stories in. That was also, I think, the final last minute thing I begged Lance to do. Like, we were like finished, and I was like, okay, now that we're finished, Lance, could you go and add in just on the side? It doesn't matter if you get it done or not in time, but just try to work this character into this shot.
That's so funny.
just to drop her in there so that she exists.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Chewboat asks, why a 60s monster show? And I'm really into the old famous Monsters of Filmland magazines and reading those. And I love the whole Mark Borchardt thing in the beginning was and the whole Professor Sylvanus. This is all a reference to old monster shows and things like that. So I wanted to pay tribute to like Dr. Paul Bearer that I watched growing up in Florida. There was this horror show that was on like Saturday mornings, and let's see,
Paul Bearer.
Dr. Paul Bearer, yeah,
That's pretty great.
And so this is a reference to all of the weird little gags that they would sell in the back of the monster magazines from the Captain Company. Like you can buy mummy's foots and stuff like those weird X-ray glasses and things, like 1960s stuff. And I thought that the 1960s is a much more interesting time period for Florida than current time, because it was kind of this transition of like, this was like right before Disney came in. And so it's in that area of where Disney World was built. It's like basically, I might be giving away too much, but Duane's is actually built where Disney World is, this place. So Bay Lake, Florida is an actual place where Disney World is located, I believe. So it's all happening there pre-Disney.
It's so fun.
Someone was asking what the process is for Lance. Sorry, there's so many questions here that it's hard to get to all of them. But Lance, could you give a little bit of insight on what your process is?
Sure. Well, so I've animated. That's the credit.
That's it.
Right?
That's all you need to know.
But there you go. But the direction comes from Carl, meaning, and it's a really interesting and fun way to work. He has a vision for this, right? So he basically has in mind what shots he wants where. So he's given me, each time we've done this, he gives me an animatic, which is basically text on the screen. It says,
I call it a text animatic because I can't draw.
Right. So it's basically the radio play that he has spliced together with the
all the characters.
A lot of placeholder sounds, but all the voice work done and timed out the way he wants it. And then he sends me a video that has text, like, that just matches up with the audio. And so I go in and I do my best to match what he's created, and I draw each scene in Flash, or I guess it's called Animate now, with the characters all created in Animate as puppets in Animate, and then the backgrounds are all done in Photoshop, and I merge those together. And sometimes I'll export directly from Animate. Sometimes I add them together in After Effects, depending on how sophisticated the camera work has to be and whatnot. But then I'll usually cut the thing up into different sections and different scenes so that it's not so unwieldy. So I think this one was like 12 or 13 different scenes. So it wound up being like 12 or 13 different, animate files that I was working from.
Yeah, somewhere around 1 per minute.
Yeah. So, and then that gets exported out and reassembled in Premiere. And then I send the whole mess of it to Carl, and he scores it and puts the finishing touches on. And what I wanted to say is sometimes, you'll go off of my scene direction or shot direction in a better way. You'll find a way to zoom in on someone or move the camera in an interesting way that I hadn't thought of. And that's totally great. And I usually try to give you as much, like, if you have a good idea, then do the good idea. I've always been like really impressed with how well your unvisualized vision works. You send me these like text things, and I'm like, how does he know that this close-up is going to work here? And it usually works really well. And then occasionally I'll see, if we just switch this around a little bit here and there, but that's very minimal. I mean, it usually works pretty well right out the gate. But it's super fun working that way. And then I see opportunities here and there, like you said, and switch it up here and there if need be.
I am like in awe of the amount of painting and work that you did on these scenes.
Yeah.
Like looking at the Dwayne's establishing shots and everything. Like, I saw some quote from you or where was it? Your bio on maybe LinkedIn or something. It's like, I have two kids that are going to take over the world, and I like drawing.
Three kids.
3 kids.
As a matter of fact, speaking of my kids, let me take this opportunity.
Okay.
My son Evan, who might be watching right now. I don't know if he's watching or not, but he was home from school because of the pandemic and bored out of his mind. And I was like, all right, I'm going to put you to work. And he actually did the lip sync on a lot of these shots. I taught him how to do lip sync with these characters, and he did a lot of those. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's fun.
So cool.
Evan Myers, if you're out there, you should be proud of yourself.
Oh, man. We should have put him in the credits. That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
It's not too late. Hey,
Yeah.
There we go.
to you.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me see. What was I going to say about that? So your bio is like, I have 3 kids that are going to take over the world, and I like drawing. And I'm like, man, that guy must like drawing, because this is like, I imagine painting one of these scenes, and that's got to take you forever.
Yeah.
It's just fun, man. It's and you've got really good, your visions are so weird and cool that it's just kind of a delight to bring them to life.
Like, I mean, there's a shot in here that's like, it's a shot. I'm putting it up on Twitch right now. It's a shot of just the back of a car. But I guess maybe that's from the master shot. Is it? Is that from? Let's see. Yeah, I guess that's in the master shot. But like having these, it's just crazy the amount of detail you put into stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fact that you can zoom in on one part and it still look beautiful it's just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, for any Dr. Zoltan fans out there,
Is this reading?
that's a Dr. Zoltan sunglass eyeball right there from Dr.
Nice.
Zoltan. If anybody's ever seen that. So it's fun. It would be fun because over the past couple of years, I'd be walking through conventions or anywhere, and I would see a photo, or see like a device somewhere or in a hospital or something. I'd be like, oh, this would be perfect for the show. I got to get a picture of this knob or this picture of this tube or something and send it to Lance. And like, Lance, check this out. Hold on to this for a design later on. Something
Sounds like
that.
you.
But like these backgrounds are so crazy. Like there's all of these detailed buildings, and how do you go about doing that?
I think those might have been from I went to New Orleans and took a bunch of photos for reference for my film Boxer Story.
Oh yeah.
And so I used a lot of that. So some of those buildings don't belong in Florida. They're from my photo shoot I did in New Orleans that time.
Wow.
But, they seem to fit. So
do you do you somehow convert those in Photoshop, or do you paint over
No,
them?
I just
or
paint them. I just look at the reference and then I find that occasionally I'll trace over things here and there, but a lot of times I feel like it feels different. It gives it a slightly. I kind of like that distortion it gives it when I'm not tracing over it, when I'm like just like looking at it and trying to draw it as best I can, and it inevitably gives it some sort of little skewed weirdness that I kind of like. So
this is a good shot here of Draculana's eyes just kind of being freaked out and like,
There's another spider.
yeah, there's a spider walking on there.
Carl, do you have the link to the merchandise?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
is
if
that
you-
not popping up on there?
I didn't see. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe I've missed it. Ah, there you are. I see.
Oh wait, that's not right. Why is that? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Shop.carlkingdom.com.
Yeah. Shop.carlkingdom.
By the way, thank you to everyone who's subscribing and following. It's really difficult to keep up with so many of these right now. I've never had this many viewers. Thank you, Joanie, for dragging everybody in. This is amazing.
So, yeah, of course. I wanted to make it as easy as possible, and it's so fun to be able to see not just the video, but to actually kind of peer into the curtain and see how it was made. Ask all the questions that you've always wanted to ask people who make cartoons. So
yeah. This shot right here is Sheriff Lanford Burns Jr. And we have him sitting in his office. And I can't remember what he was doing originally. Was he like holding something else, or was he just sitting there?
I can't remember either now that he's.
But it ended up, I was like, he should be like painting models or doing some kind of.
he's very busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes him feel a little bit more indifferent to what's going on in his town. Right.
Yeah.
So he was originally sitting there. I think, Lance, that was your idea. Like, oh, it should be like old World War I or World War II planes or something.
Right. And then didn't you like do some, like, you were looking for reference, and there was like an overwhelming amount of shots of sheriffs like working on like hobbies while they're taking calls.
Yeah, that's actually like a thing. It's like I found it in the Goonies.
Oh
like,
yeah.
When the kid calls the Goonies, like the cop is just like, oh yeah, whatever, kid. Or whatever it is. It's totally a anyway, it's funny that we ended up coming up with the planes, because that totally fits in with the mythology of this story, and I think it's going to be a thing down the road that ties into something else. So one of those little magical things, like, oh, that makes perfect sense that he's messing with planes right there. So let's say, oh yeah, Papa Joe Bro says, hey, thanks for the ham consultant mention, Carl.
I saw that. I was like, oh, that's my dad.
Yeah, so Joanie's dad is like a ham radio operator. And ham radio works into this story later on in a future episode. And I consulted with him and was like, and emailed back and forth, like, can you tell me about how these call signs work and what kind of technical babble one of the characters would say. So that was cool having that. Oh, this is great. It was funny because we were sitting in a hotel lobby, me and Joanie and Cole and Rollo, I think, one day right after your wedding. So we were sitting there like the next morning. We're just hanging out and everybody's exhausted, and something about your dad came up, and I was like, oh, I won't say what town he lives in, because I don't know if that's, but you said what town he lives in, and I was like, oh, is he a ham radio operator?
Yeah.
Instantly knew.
And you were like, yes, he's a total ham radio operator geek. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I need to talk to him. Can I ask him questions?
And I was like, he would love that.
Yeah. So that was another funny little coincidence there. I feel like when you're working on one of these projects, or at least when I'm doing this, it's like 2 years of constantly looking for information all the time. You know, anything that you're doing, if you're just walking down the street and you see a car, you can be like, oh, this is perfect. It fits into the looking for information to put into the show.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we touched on that when you were on our podcast that time, I think.
Oh yeah.
It's like as you're writing things, when you're in that state of like, working on a, whether it be a screenplay or novel, whatever, everything in your life starts to feed into that. You start to look for connections to your story that you're building in the real world, and they sort of build on each other.
Especially when you're in that deep writing state of where you're like writing every day for 3 or 4 hours or whatever. It's just constantly collecting information, and everything in it that you see becomes a part of your story in some way.
Yeah.
And so someone was asking in the chat, like, what was the hardest part of this process? And I can't speak for Lance, but my part of the process was writing. It took almost an entire year of sitting on a lawn chair in my garage with a laptop and just typing scripts for every day. And while we were doing that, we were doing some of the character design and stuff like that too. So Lance was working on, character designs here and there, send me a few more characters. Oh, I'm working this guy in the script. Can you send me this design? And he'd send it over. What are you thinking, Lance? Does it give you some ideas there? Or are you?
I was just trying to remember how long ago that was.
It's been almost a 2-year process.
Yeah. I was trying to think, when was the first time we started exchanging ideas about character design? And yeah, I think it was it 2 years ago? It was October of 2018, right? So that's 2 years. Yeah.
Because that October, I believe, was the LA Comic-Con screening of Oracle.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting at the booth by myself after the screening, and I was like, I can do better than this. I gotta do something better than this. I get it now. I understand what I did wrong. I can do better. And so I started like looking around and just watching people walking by, and I'm like, what can I make a cartoon out of? Mm-hmm. And I had 2 ideas that came to me that I wrote down on my phone. I'm like, all right, I've got these 2 brainstorms. I'll figure out which one I'm gonna follow, and it ended up being the monsters.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're so good at pulling from a voice actor standpoint. You're so good at pulling the voice out of people. Like you're like, try this. Okay, tweak it this way. Okay, we found it. Like you're just spot on pulling it out of people.
Yeah.
But you know what else?
When we do the visual character design, but I'm intrigued though that same process happens with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like he lets us start off kind of wherever we want, and then he just tweaks it slightly. And I think it's that trust between creators, and Carl's just so good at that, and it just makes it work, and you can feel the passion between people, and he's just so good at that, just pulling out that exactly what's in his head. He knows what he wants, and he just bloop, there it is.
Yeah, like when I said it's easy, when it was easy to come up with the voices, that's not like boasting for myself. That was all the genius of this man, just being able to, there it is.
Uh-oh.
Keep going, Oh, we're getting Dan in here?
What? Do we have a special visitor?
Oh.
I'm so excited.
My heart is racing.
Us wait so long. I'm just so excited.
It looks like, hello?
Greetings.
Yeah.
Greetings.
It's Professor Sylvanus. Professor Sylvanus is here.
Welcome. That's enough of him. That crusty dragon.
There he is.
Oh, look at that handsome boy.
Hi, handsome beard.
So this is Dan Foster, who did a million voices in this show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me try to go to the. I'm bringing up his credits.
Oh,
he does, and like it was so long. It was like, really? He did 7 characters?
Count.
Please don't count.
Professor Sylvanus. He did Dr. Roger Rolfenstein. He did Pastor Egbert Orson. He did Sheriff Lanford Burns Jr. He did Muskie Mike. He did Director Hellstrom, and he did Assistant Director A.J. Rodman.
What's the last one? Which character was that?
Assistant Director A.J. Rodman?
Yeah.
It was a gentleman at the desk sitting next to the general.
Right? Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so he did both of these characters. So I'm playing it right now.
Florida. Prepare the troops. We will launch.
You guys see?
So yeah, if you should be able to see it on Twitch. I mean, you
I
won't
have
be
to
able
go
to
to the
see
Twitch
it there.
as well.
Yeah.
All right, I was
Again,
on
talks to
Twitch.
himself the
Yeah.
whole time.
Carl,
What's that?
can you go back to the part where the pastor is getting reamed out by his mom?
Yeah.
There's just this little side character that was cracking me up so bad.
Oh yeah.
This
This
guy
is cool.
that's just watching. This guy with his giant nose. And I just loved watching this part and watching him just go back and forth.
Yeah, because he's directing your attention between which characters are talking too. I love that. Like Lance, you did a great job there because he turns his head just before the pastor starts talking.
Yes.
So he's like
It was
kind of
so
helping the
fun.
viewer know who's talking. It's really cool. So the cool thing is this dude is actually in the Oracle of Outer Space too.
Oh, really?
I'm like the cue cards there too, right?
Yeah, he's the cue card holder.
Which, you could say that was like a brilliant little tie-in, but it's actually just sort of like a reuse, like, oh, I've already drawn this guy. I'll stick him.
I love that character. I thought it was so funny.
Cole was so excited seeing him.
Lance, I've got to know how many revisions you go through on before you send me something. Like when you draw a character for the first time, when you design a character, what's that like?
Well, it depends on what phase we're in. Early on, I'll send you I'll just say, okay, first pass, let's see what you got, But yeah, there's times when I have to go through quite a few revisions before I'm like, it's not going to them until it's perfect. And then of course, there's still work to be done, but yeah, sometimes quite a few. I've probably got a lot of unused work that you've sent, unused pathways that you've sent me down.
And sometimes I do send you down the wrong path where I'll be like, I think this character needs to really instead be very much this way. And then you'll do it and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. That's not right at all.
But that's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
Finding it.
Yeah, sometimes you need to see the opposite ends of the spectrum to realize, oh, this doesn't work. I screwed up. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah. But I think working with the voice acting that you always get from these guys is just it's so much fun. It makes my job so much better to be working with professionals who do. I mean, it's like I have to hear it so many times. And it's, the minutiae of like scrubbing through and getting lip sync of
frame
these
for
lines.
frame, you're moving each person's lips and eyes.
Right,
So,
right. So I've listened to you guys so many times.
Sorry,
but it's a joy when it's done well. I don't mind. It's really cool.
I have to praise you for the design here of the logo of the Egbert Orson Hour. It's got like an orange.
Yeah, orange.
With a cross growing out of it. And then back here, the WOGF stands for Orange Groves Forever, because each radio station has like a W or a K followed by like 3 letters. And that usually is like a phrase. And so this is Orange Groves Forever. It's because the way that this family made their money was owning massive amounts of orange groves. And the mom used to make Pastor Egbert Orson work in the orange groves, and he hated it. And he wanted to get out of it. And his way to do that was to try to get in working at the family radio station. But it was really cool the way you design all of these things. You totally... And I just love the juxtaposition of all the sunny Florida stuff. And I remember I went to Florida on vacation like a couple of years ago or something, and first thing we did was we stopped at like a Walgreens or something to get some supplies. And I was in there and I was like, oh, this is heaven. I'm surrounded by Florida knickknacks and like weird little orange tree things and postcards. And I remember just having to take a million photos of everything and text it to you. Like, Lance, you have to see this. Look at this postcard.
Yeah, I remember that barrage of texts from you, like, oh, here's something else from a curio shop in Florida. Look at the colors here.
Like, look at the color of this bathroom in Florida. Like, seriously.
Cool. There's a jump. Okay, it's gone. Sorry.
So what else can we show here? Here's a funny little inside joke. Another last minute change that I had Lance do is I wanted to insert a no smoking and no drinking sign back behind the professor.
Oh, that's amazing.
Excellent idea, Carl.
And that's great. You designed all these cool knickknacks. I think I gave you like directions of like 3 opening shots of like, I don't know, spooky item number 1, spooky item number 2, spooky item number 3, something like that. And then you just kind of filled it in with, you know, a skull, a poster, a shrunken head. And real quick, I'll say something I wanted to do different with this show from The Oracle was I wanted unusual camera angles because I watched a bunch of Star Trek the Animated Series. And I just remembered they put the camera in such weird places, like under someone's chin or under their jaw or like way up in the ceiling through the top of the Enterprise. And I was like, Lance, I'd really like to here and there have unusual just put the camera somewhere weird. And so that's how this shot came about. I asked him to, let's just move the camera up in the rafters and show that this is a big show.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sorry, Lance, that you ended up having to redraw the entire studio from a different angle. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Great idea, Carl. It's do all different perspectives in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's torture. But I mean, at least you know what you're drawing again, right? You don't have to...
Right.
But man, thank you for doing those weird angles. It's really cool.
It added so much. It's so dynamic. Like,
Yeah.
It's just really fun to watch.
And actually, this girl, she's where is it? Yeah, there she is. The girl that's running the camera. She works into the future of the story as well. Like everybody that's in this almost is an important character in the show, and she gets a whole bunch of dialogue in the future, in future episodes.
Does she have a name yet, Carl?
I believe she does, but I forgot it at this very moment. But she's
Is he
related.
boyfriend?
She's related to someone famous. I just won't say who.
Yeah.
Theoretically, in the show.
Hey, what about the house?
Oh yeah. Can show the house.
Yeah.
That was a real monster, so to speak. Yeah,
I'm
that one
sorry,
was
Lance.
tough.
But there were very few revisions on the house. It was like you just knocked it out.
It was super fun to do. But you had pointed me towards like you wanted some sort of weird like MC Escher type elements and like just some perspectives that didn't quite make sense and
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like an MC Escher thing on the side of the house. Did the skeleton make it into this, or?
I don't think the skeleton's in the animated.
Okay.
He's in the he was in the poster.
I kept trying to remember to look that up.
Right?
But you know what I like you. It was one of the things that you would push me on was I had initially just had the eye looking just still and it blinks. But you said, can we have it look around a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to sort of engineer because it wasn't initially designed the way it was built in Animate. It wasn't designed for it to be able to look around it because the way
it moves on a sphere. It's really
it
cool.
moves and it has to move around. So I had to sort of engineer a way to do that and in multiple layers and have masks that held in place and everything. But I'm really glad we did because I really love the way that looks at the end when it's like looking around.
It looks really
Can we
good.
see it again?
Yeah, can we see it move around?
Yeah.
I'll play it.
Or maybe he didn't.
That light,
Like
too.
the eye of Sauron.
Yes.
And that music. My word.
So that's a good question. Chubod said, Dan, was it hard keeping all those characters straight in your head? Because I imagine it would be.
Well, let's just get one thing straight. I am not. So, no, nothing is ever easy. Right. Don't ask me to build a house. It won't come out right at all. For one, numbers aren't my friends, so stay in school, kids, although it's also not always a place for smart people. So that's a quote from
Fortunately so.
Grandpa Rick. But, here's the thing. When you have the luxury to see these characters now, it will make it a lot easier, especially for me. We all learn differently. I'm a very visual learner, so it was interesting at the start to build these characters, which is also a very exciting process as a creator, as an artist, creating anything, kind of having an idea in your head and then building it, physically, actually having it come to life, whether it's on a 3D printer or you actually are creating it. And now cooperatively between Carl's mind, what Lance has maybe begun to draw, because I'm pretty sure for some of these characters, they didn't even have a face at a time. It was really like Carl just going, okay, Sheriff, he's this. And you kind of get like a gobbledygook of a character, and then you have to create and build in your mind, which is obviously not going to be what Lance is maybe going to have in his mind, but I haven't seen it. But once they kind of became some image in my head, is the way I can explain it. Then I'm able to recall them, and I think if my little pea brain remembers correctly, I think I really only got a taste of the professor and the pastor. I don't think I saw any other additional auxiliary characters in the cast. It was really just Carl saying, hey, this guy's kind of hillbilly, kind of this, kind of that. And you just, I can only explain it as like a piece of clay in Ghost, is that Patrick Swayze's behind you, and that's Carl. and I've got my hands on this clay, and he's like, okay, he's like this. And I go, all right. And he goes, he's a general. All right, he's a general. Okay, no, he's not that kind of general. I go, he's not that kind of general. And now that now that I have an image of him, is he going to change? So it won't necessarily be so much of like, okay, do you remember them? It's like, I remember who they are in an essence, but these characters are going to change from episode 1 through the beautiful seasons that the episodes that Carl has created in, for the rest of this. I'll tell you that the professor, because Carl even told me already, we've said, what you post on social media of the professor is not how he is now. And we see that with animation. If you watch The Simpsons from episode 1, that whole cast, they don't sound, Homer doesn't sound, but any of us, we don't sound the way we did a year ago. We started smoking and now we got this voice. We've become Rip Torn all of a sudden. So people will change. So yes, I remember them in an essence, but sometimes they come and fall. And I've played with the professor since, and I see him in a different way as I understand him better. I'm able to play with him a little more. So he's going to change. So I hope nobody, gets maybe too locked on to how they sound right now, because these characters are going to have different experiences, as they grow and evolve. So
100%.
The personalities may change their voice, or the situation's going to change their voice. Experiences will change how they are. So
that makes my job really easy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Rollo brought up something really interesting.
That's not my job, Jody.
What did Rollo bring up?
He said, I'd love to see a book made up of all of that. This is when we were talking about your process with Lance.
Oh yeah, like a behind the scenes,
like a coffee table book.
Like a sketchbook of the making of.
Yes.
I'd buy it.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
I would buy that board behind you, Lance.
Yeah, right?
I want wallpaper.
It's not for sale.
I've just been eyeballing it while you guys were talking since I've been here.
I like what both of you guys, Dan and Lance, did with Muskie Mike here, because it's actually pretty close to what I had in mind, but it's such a character.
So yucky.
I love it.
He's like a fishing tour dude, and that's the other type of like Floridian, who's like taking retired people out on fishing tours and stuff.
Bless you, Florida.
And
bless you.
It's got this ridiculous voice. Like let me play this voice again. Look at him, he's chugging a beer.
Get a load of that
Long
tattoo,
here.
by the way.
I'm telling you, the time is coming for us to do something about it.
Holy heck! Doesn't seem like a normal afternoon thunderstorm. What's going on with this weather?
Yeah. Is it me? Or are them clouds up there glowing?
Anyway, I love what like both of you guys contributed to this character of Muskie Mike. Lance, do you have anything to say about this character when you were working on him?
You know, I don't remember how much of how many revisions we went through with him. Did we that many? I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think so. I feel like that was like, yep, that's him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He
Well, I
looks
mean,
the way he sounds.
You gave me, ingredients. You said, he needs a tat. I think the tattoo on his chest was
like a fiddler crab tattoo.
Yeah, and he needs
specifically.
Yeah, like
Are you kidding?
The bead necklace.
Good.
I can't
Details
remember
on
how
that.
many of them were, written in the description.
Yeah.
Of course, you always like put together sort of a little collection of inspirational images.
Yeah, I can bring up some of these actually.
Please do. I'm
Character
You know what,
references.
Carl? That detail, ladies and gentlemen, those of you of the jury that are joining us, that's something as an actor. Cole, I'm Joanie. I'm sure as professionals you can attest to this. Had I known that there was what is specifically crab was that again, Carl?
That's a fiddler crab.
Fiddler crab, of course. And if you could pull up the references that you had for that,
I don't think I
Actually,
have
as a-
that reference. But
Right.
so here was this. Originally, the show was going to be called Monsterland, and it was a different concept. And right up until the day I was about to hit publish on Kickstarter, it was a totally different show with a whole different story and everything, and different characters. So, well, not that much different characters, but I was like, I think I was actually talking to Chubode at the time, and I was like, so yeah, I'm thinking of just hitting publish on this Kickstarter. I think it's pretty much ready to go. I'm going to launch this thing. And I was like, you know what? I should probably just Google it to make sure someone else hasn't done this, because I don't think they have. I'm pretty sure I Googled it before. I Googled it, and boom.
have you Googled it? Did you?
Googled it. It comes up that some guy with a big book deal and lawyers and and agents and everything called Monsterland. I was like, oh my God, I've got to start all over.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that.
That was funny. It was like, I'm about to hit launch, and I'm like, I should check it first again just to double check. So then I had to rename the show, come up with a whole different story and concept. And I don't remember. Do you remember that, Lance?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you do. I guess you do remember it because you designed the original poster
That's right. Yeah.
of the whole other show concept.
The
which
amusement park and everything.
yeah. So I've got that here too somewhere. But
Wow.
here are the original. Should be able to see these here. So this was the character reference thing for Draculana, and it's interesting. I actually grabbed a couple of Leanna Vamp
That's perfect.
references. So I was trying to show like maybe she'll be holding like some sort of crystal wand. This has got like the weird horned hair, just kind of going for what the vibe is.
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk about the horns, Carl?
I did, yeah. We talked about that a little while ago.
Who caught that? Who noticed it?
Yeah, nobody actually
Notice
noticed
the hair?
it until
No, Joanie, you didn't even look at a hair. Notice?
So this is the kind of thing I would give Lance. Frankenstein doctor. He's about 40 years old. He has a mechanical arm and
The
looks like
single
this.
arm.
Hey, and you know what? Quite honestly, as a spec, as something you might get it as an audition, that's about it. Sometimes you could get it may be so top secret or something. That's all you need to know and go.
But the Photoshop skills.
Wow.
Wow,
Dang.
Carl, that's like
Yeah, the Photoshop skills.
The inspiration. Oh wow, this gets better. Look at the beards. I am jealous already. Who is Werewolf Hipster 19?
Yeah,
None
he's
of those
about
guys,
19.
Carl, are 19. What? Excuse me.
I was just going for the hairdo.
Maybe that gorilla. Maybe the gorilla.
That's a 19. That gorilla.
cat in
That
the
gorilla's
corner.
19.
Yeah, you could tell from the silver. That's
So
something.
along with this, I would usually give him like
so to speak.
I would usually give
as
him
a
like
professor,
text directions too,
yes.
like orange eyes, orange shorts, stuff like that.
Wow, the colors.
I love the Marvel Sasquatch character
Oh my
too.
God.
Yeah.
He
Alpha
almost
Flight.
is a little beastie.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are you?
He-Man-y.
I thought it was He-Man or something.
Right? Yeah.
He-Man. Like that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Just very on roids. Just roided up there. Who is
Ooh,
this
yeah.
ghost girl? Wow.
And notice they
Yeah.
didn't actually have names at this point.
Yeah.
They just
And
it
her
was just
face-
Ghost Girl. It was
Your
just
face
Werewolf
changed like
Hipster.
100% too. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
you had locked it in.
Oh yeah. We redid Victoria M's face.
This is what you got, Lance. You
That's
got.
what I got.
Yeah, this is what you got to work with. Wow, it's very I mean, and I didn't mean that as a joke, but I mean it like it's interesting. Like I said it as like this is what you get as an audition, maybe as a character to look at. Like they haven't drawn it yet, and you look at these and you go, okay, what are they gonna draw? And now I get to see, like Joanie, I heard you say this. It's so interesting, and Lance, I'm glad you're here. It's like he gets this and he goes, what am I gonna draw? I go, how does she say? Well, if this was the Frankenstein, this was Roger, I'd go, how does he sound? Let me look. And how we look at this differently, and yet it's the same. Lance, I'm guessing you look at, okay, how does it, now you've flipped it back, Carl, how do I put this together, and then how might he sound, and it's interesting, right?
I'll point out
And
something.
I was just thinking about like
It's cool
how,
to see these.
Yeah, how it's like what you get, what
Monster.
I get, and it's sort of like that game of like Exquisite Corpse, where it's like you fold a piece of paper and I draw a head without seeing what.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love
And
that.
Oh, that's so fun.
So
We
I
should play that on here.
Yeah, I make the visuals, and you do the and Carl's the only one that knows what's happening on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so
Pretty
fun.
cool.
What a
So
fun
cool.
process.
Wow.
And this is the extent of the alien child.
That's it. Here's Cthulhu. Here's a really
done.
cute child.
Well done.
Make it happen.
So how'd she get the
That's
big
it.
giant eye?
But I mean, there's usually
That's just
there's
cute.
usually descriptive text that goes along with it too, and I don't
Okay.
know, there's always like this kind of thing. But basically, I picked a vampire, a Frankenstein, a werewolf, a ghost, and a mutant.
Well picked, Carl. Well picked, and exquisitely, beautifully drawn. Lance.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it. Oh, and it's so fun to see this process. Like just seeing them come
Alien
to life
child.
with different creative. Oh, I love it.
Here's another one I just found. Whoops! Get out of there.
Michael Ironside. All right.
Yeah. This is General.
I like the
Sorry about
close up of the mouth.
Paramilitary. See, usually I would include text like paramilitary leader of Project Harmonica. Short-tempered, dark features, wears black paramilitary. Blah, 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 blah. His assistant AJ Rodman should also be paramilitary, but less imposing. So make this dude scary and intimidating.
Love it.
It's a real honor to see him too, and like both especially this when Carl said this, I'm not gonna lie, I recently saw some of his work through it's killing me, sorry gamers, you'll all know what game he's a part of, and I'll just say that then, but his work is exquisite both on and off screen, his voiceover work, and when you get that as like as a spec and a reference, like I'm like, oh, sure. Carl, let's begin to play here. Let's see how we can, and I don't know. I don't think wouldn't say he's a voice match. I wouldn't call. I'd say you could probably see him as a reference, and drawn a bit to the likeness, but I don't. Carl, correct me if I'm wrong.
Here's from the actual
would go-
original
we'd
animatic.
try
Check
and
this out.
make it a voice match. That's awesome.
What were we seeing?
What?
So
It's-
that's just a random still like sketch from Lance
Wow.
of the
So-
animatic of the werewolf. So pretty cool. I thought that looks a lot like Cole. When I saw that, I was like,
Look at
"That's
that hair.
Cole."
Wait, which way is my head?
Make that face, Cole.
I'm trying.
It looks
Come on.
exactly like you. Seriously, like I've seen that face.
I can't get my ears to do that though.
There's the voice though. Was that on purpose?
No, I told you.
It's just like it.
Carl's like, I just want him to be you. All right. Can I play with it a little bit?
No.
I love it.
It's fun.
So I'm hoping that with this whole thing, I'm thinking of doing this little campaign where I like put out the word that something called help Carl King and that monster show get a TV agent.
Ooh, that's catchy.
Yes.
And then I was going to offer this crazy original sculpture of a TV monster with like tentacles coming out of it as like the trophy. If whoever can connect me successfully with getting a TV agent wins this awesome like one of a kind trophy made by a sculptor or something like that, was an idea I had. Because I think this time around I really want to get into that system and try to make this show go somewhere.
You worked hard enough for it, that's for sure.
And I just want to see it done. It's such a good story. Like having, Dan, I'm sure you can attest, and Lance, like it's just such a fun story.
It
and
grips you.
Yeah, when I was reading, I remember we were at that con,
Remember that?
Carl, and you brought like the whole thing, and I was like,
I brought all 8 episodes.
Yeah, and so we just went out in the little cafeteria area, and you just watched me read it.
I stared at you while you read through the whole script.
Stared at me. It was so fun. I was like, this is really, really good. Like, I was like, it was like a page turner. Like,
and you were figuring things out
happening
as it went. You were like, oh, is this character going to do this?
Yeah.
Like,
trying to piece together, you had your little breadcrumbs.
Like burning.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just want to see it done just as like a fan of the project, because it's such a fun story, and to see where it would go,
I just want to see
after,
where they go.
into the next season and everything too, because you've just laid all this groundwork for this. You got all these characters and these threads. I don't know how you keep track of it.
Well, I can tell you how I keep track of it.
Oh, well, please.
Please do.
Let me see if I can find that. I have.
I feel like it looks like, when you watch a detective show and there's like sticky notes and just
the yarn
lines.
trails and our cat's knocking stuff off.
Nice.
I'm actually trying to find it, but I have.
They want to watch that monster show again, like I do. It should be playing on the background. Am I going to play it? Do I have to play it?
That monster campaign.
Or Carl, can you play the music in the background? I missed that.
Yeah, let's hear that score.
I think I can play the music.
Are we allowed
good
to?
too.
By the way, I really like
I would need to
the
also
dance,
find
Carl.
that.
What? The score.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
We're gonna show Grandma at her Halloween party.
So excited!
And Lance, while everyone's talking amongst themselves, we're in the. I was excited to hear your inspiration, because that was one of my genuine questions.
Is that playing through okay?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
playing loud and clear.
Ralph Bakshi.
Good evening.
I'm not. I don't think I'm familiar with him, but with
Okay.
Mad Magazines, my brother brought me up on them.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And that's a favorite of mine as well. Sorry, it's a geek moment, everybody. I just was excited to hear that. Yeah,
Yeah,
as an inspiration, and mine as well.
I love that stuff. In fact, I unearthed a letter I got, because when I was 18 years old, I wrote to those artists, and I got a letter from Al Jaffe, and I was like,
Really?
Wow,
I actually wrote to him, and he wrote back. It was so cool.
that's awesome.
Omar asks, is there enough storyboarding done to turn it into a comic?
That would be cool
It'd be fun too.
I think turning it into like a graphic novel or something would be a pretty cool thing if we can't end up getting it into a real TV show.
Do we have site for backers and stuff? Or
Do we have what?
do we have a site for the backers? It's just that monster show?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
To like fund the next episode if people watch right now
yeah, it's
that-
on thatmonstershow.com. At the very bottom, there's a list of questions of like, what can I do to help?
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So we either need to find a ton of backers that are going to help make this thing, to fund us to do it
Or Scrooge
independently,
McDuck.
or we need to get some
Or-
sort
or
of
one
TV
big
agent.
backer, right?
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
A one big backer.
One big backer.
Like when we swim the
That's you.
So anyway, I was gonna try to show one of my charts, the story charts that I created, which is this gigantic. Basically, I need to turn this music down because it's distracting me.
Yeah, just background. Just
I created this huge document, this big, like basically like a whiteboard like you have in a writer's room, but I did it all digitally in Illustrator. So I had these color-coded storylines of like, you know, each of the sort of throughout the 8 episodes, each of these characters and scenes have their own storyline. Like some of the characters will pair up and go somewhere. And so I would color code that as green, for instance. And so I can see all of the green scenes in all 8 episodes, or all of the blue scenes, which are the Victoria M scenes of her storyline. And so it starts off where all the characters are all together and they all sort of go off on this crazy adventure and they all like meet up at the end. And so I had to balance with, okay, I got this scene, I've got to move it to episode 4 so that there's not, you know, a whole bunch of red scenes in a row or something. So it's a matter of balancing out all of those storylines. And a big influence was actually Twin Peaks, the original series.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why I brought in all of these Floridians, because I was like, I thought to myself, how did Twin Peaks go about really making me believe that Twin Peaks was a real place?
Yeah.
Right.
Like when I watch that, I'm like, man, I want to live there. I feel like I'm there. And it's because they go to where people work. They show where so-and-so works. They show where so-and-so drives his truck or where he parks his truck. And you just see all these cool locations. And I'm like, man, I've got to have that. I need that kind of... I wanted the locations like Dwayne's gas station and weird stuff like that. And the sheriff station and the swamps and the TV station and all of that stuff. So that was the big influence there.
I think it's successful to definitely round out the whole, have all the different locations and the different characters, and it makes it feel, you know, like you said, one of those shows where it's like the setting is so important, it's central to the storytelling.
Yeah.
It is, man.
And I felt like I was in a little bit of danger there, introducing so many characters in one episode. But it was just on the verge of being too much, I think. But it still worked.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Very balanced.
But yeah, I think I would get in trouble with my writing teacher if I were to try to pull that off. And she'd be like, don't do that. You can't do that. Like, Twin Peaks did it.
Yeah.
So
were you going to say something, Lance?
I was going to say, they're archetypes as well. So I think that helps. It's
You're right.
Here's the guy who's going to play this role in this story. Here's the guy that's going to play this, you know, and it, you know, not to say that they're, you know, you're playing with tropes here.
Yes.
And so that helps with the introduction of the characters, I think.
Yeah, you're right about that. It makes it easy to just plug in a character and you get this guy, this is the sheriff who's too busy to deal with this and those types of things. So they are cliches for sure, but then you can kind of twist them for your own purposes.
Yeah, with their body language too, you can see that too. It's just all these, like, the voices, the body language, their hobbies or whatever they're dealing with. Like it instantly gives you a cue as to who they are and what they do and what their role is. Just great work.
I was going to say something that related to Dan. When Dan, I'll give away your secret to voice acting, which is not at all your secret to voice acting, but I noticed when there were some videos there were videos that we made early on of you doing some of the characters, and you do all of this like bodily gesture, and you get into like the physical pose of the character and how much, almost down to like how much air can they, like what is their lung capacity, you know, like he's an old man, so he doesn't have a lot of air, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love that.
Are you going to show those embarrassing videos?
That's my favorite.
Show my secrets as well as tell all of my secrets.
Yeah.
No, but it's cool the way you do that.
Head, bro, 5 times the size.
Right.
I turned into this little gremlin, like, wow.
Yeah. Joanie actually. Yeah. I wasn't there, but I mean, I saw the mess that also her character leaves behind. But
the spittle.
Yeah, but Cole's been able to miraculously grow extra hair out.
Yeah.
It happens
when
instantly.
he gets into the character. I mean,
Yeah, I'm a
Bernie-
method actor, and so to play Bernie, I had to become Harry.
I remember that what you said, Cole, is that you have to dress for the part you want.
That's what Mama always told me.
So you started dressing like a werewolf.
Dress for the job you want. So I dressed like a slob. This was all to get this job. Okay.
All
I
I
could
wanted to
dress
do
to the
was go
nines
to
if
the
I
beach
wanted
when you were in
to.
LA. You're like, take me to the beach. I brought my board.
Yeah.
And he ripped off his shorts, and there were those tiny little Bernie board shorts.
Always in shorts.
Oh yeah.
And flip flops.
Well, my thought was that also I'll say about
You were wearing flip flops in LA. The picture's there. It's on. We all can see it.
Yep.
So not all of the monsters hate
Something wrong with
Florida.
flip-flops.
So I wanted some of them to actually love being there. So Bernie, Cole's character, totally loves it.
Oh.
Look at him golfing.
not bad.
Shipping to
Warm.
Canada. SK Larry asks about shipping shirts and hoodies to Canada. Yes, we do ship to
Of
Canada.
course. Sorry if it'll be after Wednesday, but you know, it'll get there.
He's
Get you-
referring to I usually ship stuff on Wednesdays.
What part of Canada? If you don't mind, I'm just curious. Glad to hear we've got someone from Canada.
Oh, I love
joining
Canadian.
us.
Look how good. Look how good it looks on Dan here. He's our model
sure?
for the night.
You know,
Oh yeah. Let's see that chest.
I pulled it out of the hamper just for y'all.
Pull that-
Ding, ding, ding. Look how
I'll tell
lovely
I know.
everyone-
Look at that. Look at
in
him.
this shirt.
I'll throw
Pull
in
up
a
that
little.
picture of us at the con
rep.
wearing it.
I want to throw in a little inside joke here. Oh, by the way, if you can see my shirt and Dan's shirt, they are not the same shirt,
I like
Oh,
that.
that's
yet they are
lovely.
very similar.
I
And there's a
noticed.
reason for that. Is that I sent Lance a picture of this shirt, and I said I want that Monster Show design that looks like this shirt in
Yes.
this
No way.
style.
So there's. Where's everybody?
And this is an H.P. Lovecraft shirt.
I thought so. Cthulhu in there.
Anyway,
Fun little facts. Fun facts. Yeah, Carl, back to, I'll speak on those actors that might be in the room, or those aspiring actors. Actor curious, Theo curious. You know, specifically with voiceover, because you can't be seen, a lot of times our physical movements express how we say something. It's something you'll really understand if you ever are in the space of doing ADR, the replacement dialogue. And let's say the best way to explain this is if we're replacing dialogue for someone who was choking, I could easily stand here and cheat that I was choking and go, but to physicate, is that a word? Hi, English. I make it up. I'm a voice actor. I speak for a living, so that's a word. You physicate this, and you when you act it out, because you're an actor, it actually helps give you a choking sound better
You
than
have to be
just
possessed by the character.
yeah, and actually moving your body besides just standing and trying to let this thing do all the work. It is as much physical acting as it is using your voice. Of course, you can't make any noise if the character was running. You somehow have to come up with being out of breath without making noise, because that will be picked up. But obviously, if the character was running and I just said, "Oh my, 1,200 miles. I sure am out of breath."
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Versus maybe I drop down and do a couple push-ups.
Yeah.
Or before Carl says, whenever you're ready, I just jog in place. Or if I can do it without any change in my pocket right now, a lot of times, I will just try and be quiet in place and say, "Boy,
The tempo.
yeah, I just did a half a mile. I sure am out of shape."
Right.
It's pretend. It's playing pretend.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's done that as a kid.
Exactly.
You got to do it while you're moving, because it changes you. You bring the character alive through yourself.
And that hopefully gives those two different takes, give Lance something to draw and play with. I think you said earlier, how much while you're listening and have to scrub through this 1,000 billion times, even before that, that just drawing them, it gave you something to physicate. Again, there's the word. No, I'm a professor. All right, play one on TV.
I like it. I get it. It makes sense.
Well, that's something as a novice, like I learned very quickly. Like, oh, I can't just sit here. Like, you don't get anything. Like, it's not. It's 100% true.
I loved watching you do alligator earlier. It's like her, there.
Is there a finger point?
I should have held a fake alligator. I didn't even think about that. Get a real one. Again, method. You know, you can be a method voice actor. Grow a mullet out. Get an alligator.
Hey, to change the subject completely back to Lance. Lance, was this the mixing board from the Oracle of Outer Space?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That cart machine over to the left, is that what those are? Those.
Yeah, that's taken from. Yeah, that's taken directly from it.
Who's that dude that's standing behind the board? Is he like an executive or something? Like there are a couple of characters in here. Is like.
That's important.
Was that an asset you already had that you just threw in there, or?
Sometimes they are. Sometimes this guy. I don't remember. If I probably had a drawing of somebody standing like that, and then I tried to make them look a little bit more in the time period, and who would be working at a radio station. You know, always put a beard on him. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm also seeing like all of the detail you drew in having to put that camera in the background and everything, and the cross way back there. It's like a really deep scene with so much detail.
Yeah, well, it's layered from assets that were already there, because I think that's just the flipped. Yeah, I had drawn the.
Oh, you drew it on the other side.
Yeah, so it's just flipped from the other side, and I had the
somewhere in here.
Yeah, there's the camera there, so it was already there. It's just a matter of taking assets I've drawn and then layering them in.
Crazy, and then there's a dude smoking way in the back in the shadows.
Now that is a guy I had before.
Is that like an inside joke character you threw in or something?
I think he's in the crowd in Boxer Story. I think he's like at the fight in Boxer Story.
So he just happened to travel from Florida to where? Louisiana, New Orleans.
Yeah. And travel time, because
travel time. Right. The guy in the shadows is the dad. Rolo says.
You're starting to find all my shortcuts. It's like in order to get this stuff done in time, I look through my library of where do I have a guy standing and smoking cigarettes? Oh, I know, from that one scene.
But how do you even organize all that stuff? You do have like and I think Chris Higgins was on here earlier. He was asking like, how do you organize these files and scenes and.
Yeah, that's
my favorite.
I'll tell you what, it's all very nicely organized in a file structure until you ask me to rewrite something or redo something. and then it becomes spaghetti.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to redraw this part, and I'm going to layer that in here. And so the file structure gets the file structure for Oracle of Outer Space.
Oh, man.
Good luck. Good luck sorting through those assets.
I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, that was a struggle.
No, I mean, it worked out. It was actually interesting to see where it, the different changes you wanted to make and how you were trying to solve different problems.
That was a major, yeah, I don't even know where to go with that. But this time around, I feel much better about this project. I feel like the majority of it makes sense. I did play upon a lot of archetypes and tropes intentionally. That's like one of my intentional, like, I'm going to use a trope here, this or that trope, so that it actually makes sense, and then I'm going to tweak it for my own purposes. And so hopefully the whole story made sense to everyone, minus things that don't make sense, like cliffhangers, like at the very end, like, who's this dude and what's going on there? What's this thing?
Well, I love what you're doing with the story, but I do like Oracle of Outer Space. I think there's some wonderful absurdity in that one as well.
Yeah, for sure. I at some point I wanted to go through and make something about every inside joke that's in the Oracle of Outer Space. It's nothing but inside jokes and weird, absurd references. It's like, how many references and inside jokes can you jam into one show?
It's pretty weird.
Yeah. Rolo says he wants an Oracle reboot.
Ooh.
Well, we've got the assets for it.
We do.
There's a lot of questions going on there. UK shipping, we got a lot of people asking. UK shipping, Carl.
You ship everywhere, right, Carl?
Omar K.
Yeah, we do. I ship anywhere. I've shipped all over the place.
Someone's wearing their
On
hoodie
Wednesdays.
right now.
He ships everywhere.
On
Not
Wednesdays.
in LA because it's 1 billion degrees.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, any other questions in the chat? Feel free to type a question into the chat, and we will now focus on answering questions.
I have a question.
What
Who
is
looks
it?
like Danny DeVito? Is there a character that looks like Danny DeVito?
A little
And the guy
shadow.
behind
Shadow, I think, is what they were referring to.
Oh, the shadow does. Okay.
I love Chubode.
Chubo's.
Reminds me of Will Ferrell doing more cowbell.
Let's see.
I thought the
Is this guy
exact
behind the
same
mixer?
thing. Yeah, the guy
Oh,
behind
he
the-
does. Yeah. All
Oh,
right,
he does look like him. Yeah, you're right.
I was wondering who was going to end up voicing him, and I think.
No, actually, the dude smoking the silhouette smoking is actually if I bring up that bring up the light in the room, you'd see it looks just like my dad. Maybe he does look a little bit like Danny DeVito.
Oh.
I like this shot where the people are on the pier, and
Yeah,
there's a woman
Chubo
just
say it's
there's a woman just looking in a bucket.
His favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
Looking
That-
at the bucket.
Yeah.
Sorry,
What did she get?
what was that, Lance? Oh yeah, old lady looking in the bucket. Yeah, got it.
Who is your inspiration for her? Who is this? What's going on with her? Because I've always, and here's, I mean, I'm not saying I'm just saying we give her a voice right now. Oh, what did I get? I've always wanted to voice an old lady. There's a fish head, a couple of rocks. Kitties are eating good tonight.
It reminds me of the Doubtfire.
Yeah.
It's my ode to John DiMaggio.
I think originally
remember.
this was the fisherman
her
was
a
just
name.
fishing the opposite way off the pier,
That's
and
right.
the pelican was
Yeah.
standing there, and then we changed it to the pelican actually holding it, and this dude's just cranking away on his fishing reel and not even realizing the pelican has it.
I love the waiters. He's wearing the waiters. He's on the dock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to get in the water. I don't know.
Sharkies,
This is a
yeah.
great idea
Higgins.
there.
Higgins has got it right. Higgins is from Florida also, so on the chat he says that looks like the pier at Sharkies.
Sure does.
Sharkies on the pier.
He said that I think the monsters can watch Oracle on Florida TV. That'd be a fun little
Cool.
May as well
That's
just tie it
good.
all together once we
Yeah.
have
Do
millions
it.
of dollars.
bring it
Let's
all
do
together.
it.
In the Oracle.
Or it could be watching at the old folks' home.
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell's happening anyways. And just,
Lance, what are you
Hey.
working on these days? You're doing video games, right?
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my day
Nice.
job. That's what pays the bills these days is video game work. So yeah.
So cool.
I don't know how much you're able to talk about that stuff, but I did.
Yeah, what are you working
I
on
watched a
that you can't talk
preview
about?
of one of the video games that the company does, and
Oh.
I swear I saw like some of your style in there somehow.
But you looked up Stoic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched
Now we
like some of the
got
trailers.
Speaking of
Stuff
Stoic,
going.
the pastor has entered the room.
Yeah. No, it's about we're working on some secret stuff right now that Stoic fans will be, I think, delighted by what comes out.
Lance, do you have your boxer story?
That's right.
Short is coming out finally after you're done. I guess you're done with your festival run that you
festival
did.
circuit is done, and so October 16th is when Boxer Story will be premiered on YouTube. So in 2 weeks?
Yeah, so we'll have to promote that. That's some crazy animation. You're doing like a lot of lighting changes and camera moves, and it's just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that one took 8 years to make.
oh wow.
That all.
So not really the kind of thing that's sustainable for a series or anything, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of these things that I wanted to really pour myself into and see what I could do. And interestingly enough, you mentioned, Carl, that you would first see my work like 12 years ago, whenever it was. And we worked together without ever having even spoken on the phone, never seen each other face to face. We'd never met until last year when Boxer Story showed at an LA festival. Or it wasn't, it was the Texas Filmmaker Showcase that brought it to LA. That was cool. It's like finally meeting you.
Yeah.
Get to see what a tiny little guy
No, it's
see each other in person. It's like so interesting and cool.
It's I think when you find the right person to work with and there's just very little BS, it's like I think the only dynamic that's a little bit odd between us is that I always feel bad that I type you avalanches of emails. And then you'll just be like, got it, no problem. But I'm just like, oh my God, I have all these thoughts about crazy things and this is going on and I want to do this and that. And I'm like writing you in the middle of the night. But the situation is so good that I've just been able to like send you like, hey, do this and here's some money. And you're like, great, here it is. Okay, perfect. We're done.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's been really fun. But it was interesting that like, I guess it's a sign of the times that we could work on so many projects over so long a time and never have met
or talked on the phone or anything.
Or even spoken on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh. Pen pals.
But yeah, you have represented me visually with so many of my projects. It's just like if I could draw like it would I would want to draw just like you.
That's really
like,
sweet.
it's exactly like you're just the perfect artist.
Speaking of, I mean, not to steal Lance's thunder, but I mean, as being inspired, Carl, can we talk about your recent?
My what?
Your handiwork.
What handiwork is that?
Does that answer the question?
Are you talking about what the little? What?
Which you're drawing?
Oh, I'm just trying to learn to draw.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what I'm doing.
I just want to say, I mean, I think it's great. I just want to know if you felt comfortable talking about it in the room.
Oh yeah, I don't want. I don't mind talking about it.
I don't know if anybody's seen some of the stuff. I'm not trying to plug anything particular. I'm just saying, I think for what you've shown me, I think it is commendable and
it is good, right? It's really cool. Yeah, a minute ago when I said I'm glad you can't, it was only because I want to keep working with you.
As we all do, because this is a team that makes amazing things. Way before I even came into the picture, Oracle was a whole other amazing oracle of creative amazingness. I use words very eloquently.
Joanie, what about you? What is your perspective on this whole thing? You said it was fun watching you watch the show.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Let's hear a little bit from you. We haven't heard a lot from you.
I feel like you've heard a lot from me. I talk too much.
Oh, okay.
No.
Nah.
Oh gosh, I love all of it. I love seeing, like, especially knowing where it was birthed, you know, from Carl's brain, and then coming to life and just seeing how we each affect each other in making this a success. It's just really, really cool to see. Like, I'm just so excited just with everything, like the little knobs and the music and the voices coming to life. It's just so fun to see. And I'm just horribly excited.
Yeah.
I want more.
And did the show make sense to you, Joanie?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So like, I remember, I think we were sitting on your couch and I finally got to read it because I don't get to do anything when we're at conventions.
Yeah.
I don't get to do any of this fun stuff. I get to have different kinds of fun. So getting to be able to read that, I remember you gave it to us and then you walked out of the room and I'm like, this is really cool. Like, I love reading this and I want to see it come to life. And it's so fun to be here, seeing it come to life and people loving it and wanting more. And I love it. I loved it from the beginning, and to see it grow and like morph into this thing that's actually tangible that people can watch and enjoy and share. It's exciting.
Joni, you have, as I was pointing out earlier, you have another major character that does not show up yet in this episode. She's introduced in the next episode. But I just want to put it out there that Joni did an amazing job on this character that is shown briefly in this one shot. And it's totally the opposite role of Matilda. Like Matilda is just this little creature, but this other character that Joni does for the next 7 episodes it's such an extroverted, loud character that is really dynamic and fun. And I'm looking forward to having that character show up too.
I'm so excited.
Because we already recorded all your lines, basically. There will be some additional lines to redo because I have a new idea for reworking the ending, of course.
Okay.
But yeah.
Are those Ouija board overalls?
Yeah!
That's so funny. That's cool.
It even has pockets!
That's great.
That's the most important part. The pockets.
I wanted to be spooky today.
You know what I'm excited about too, as the last little thing, is sharing credits with Mark.
Oh yeah, somebody asked earlier about
somebody
that.
just said that. Yeah, his little
I was so excited. His
such a
scene was
gem.
one of my favorite parts of the whole thing too. That mummy foot, and like it was just so fun.
Yeah. Let's see that.
Let's see that foot.
Oh, did you want me to play this again?
Oh,
notice.
yeah.
I think
Oh,
Lance.
did you want me to play this? Don't be coy, Carl.
Lance added in this glass of milk here on the table. You see that?
I didn't even notice that.
That's ridiculous.
The foot's like right next to it.
What, Lance? What were you thinking? Putting a glass of milk there? That's just so
spilled
crazy.
It spilled a little. Someone's been careless.
It's like the announcer likes to have a little glass of milk before he does his.
Of course.
Dipping the foot in like Oreos.
Do you know? I want to hear Lance before I say shut your mouth, Dan.
Yeah, tell us about this, Lance.
Tell us, Lance. Explain the milk.
I don't
What kind
know.
of milk is this?
I don't remember putting that there.
We're all crying over spilled
It just
milk.
showed up.
Joke of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this also what your wife says? Is like, Lance, why'd you leave this glass of milk here? You're like, I don't know. I don't remember putting it there.
I don't remember putting the milk there.
Yeah.
Been the days.
Milk brought itself.
Did I do that?
Here's
like
the cool
that they're in
thing,
his
though. When he came out to L.A. and he came out to my studio and I hired him to do this weird promo for my book, I got a macro lens on a 5D and I got right up in his face and took an extreme close-up of just his nose and glasses. And they're the original glasses from the documentary that he was in. And they're all taped together and everything because they're like from the 70s or whatever they are. So I've got a super close-up, insane shot of those glasses, and I was going to blow it up really big and put it on the wall of like just Mark's eyes staring at me through those glasses.
Just watching you.
Yeah. Like it's just I don't know that anybody else in the world has that a photo like that of him. So it would be a really cool thing to have.
I shared that enthusiasm. When I found out he was going to be in it, I was very excited.
Yeah.
And I was going to get to draw him.
Yeah. And I love that you did the foot, like the realistic, when it's the close-up of the foot too, and all the icky things are happening with it. It's so fun.
Oh yeah, I'll move it forward to the.
Yeah.
Get in there.
So that's like Photoshop, right? That's not just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I am so excited to see this because Carl, I remember you telling me, you explaining this to me, and the closest thing, and this will age me in my generation, and I'm Lance. I see is maybe you guys too, over there, Cole and Joni. I see Ren and Stimpy's.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure, yeah.
This gorgeous
Yeah.
close-up
Dan,
of his
I'll do you one
grotesque.
better.
Yes.
If you really are truly the Mad Magazine fan that you say you are, you'll see the Basil Wolverton reference in that foot. Look up Basil Wolverton. That's taking it way back. I think he was doing Mad Magazine stuff in the '60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a couple magazines. I'll go back and
Check it out, Basil Wolverton.
but there's an ode to him in here.
Well, the foot.
Oh,
there.
it's in general is.
I think if you look at
Oh,
the style there.
okay. All right. I
Yeah.
think Carl did mention. Now I remember that name.
Oh, I recognize this artwork. Joanie pulled him up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. I used to love that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So every episode there's a commercial from Mark that's already recorded.
Yes.
Oh, that's
And they get better and
magical.
better.
Oh, I love that stuff. Oh, I remember being so obsessed with that art as a kid.
Really? Yeah. Me too. Totally.
I love it.
Just somebody sniffs the foot. That's so great.
It's fresh.
Adam Hurd 99 had to go, so
Thanks for
he
joining
probably already
us.
left a long time ago, but thank you for joining us. Hey, Joke Pool says next Kickstarter for authentic mummy foot plush.
Yes.
That would be kind of cute.
Higgins says he
Yes.
uses different glasses while shooting versus writing and stuff. Well, anyway, if we were to go for a full, I guess, 2 hours here or so almost. Well, we're at an hour and 37. If anybody has any questions to throw them in, we should probably maybe wrap up pretty soon because I feel like the energy is dying off a little bit.
It's time for more food. I love food.
Time for second supper.
Second
Here
supper.
at our casa.
It'll be
A more
interesting to
green
see
bubbly.
some of the new comments on. Let's see what the comments were on YouTube. Because I think I saw some were coming up.
Oh, on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm trying to load it.
Oh, yeah. I have all these windows open.
Anyway, reminder that, we want, if anybody out there knows a television agent, especially for animation, someone who's represented other writer creators, then please point them our way, and you'll get a cool trophy.
Did I do that?
Did I do that?
Sorry, that was me.
Okay.
Chris Casey says, great job, Carl. The voice actors were beyond excellent. The music and sound effects are awesome, and Lance knocked it out of the park on the killer animation. Incredible job, everybody involved.
I fired everybody.
Masked Kitty says, I legit love this, and I can't wait for more. And then Niall Leon Leo marks some various time codes on there and says, very happy, and lots of smiles and kisses. Sandra Alvarez says lovely, and Girly Beku says yay, it's awesome.
Yay, it's awesome.
Joke Pool. By the way, Joke Pool, you are one of our earliest supporters of that monster show. I remember you showing up at one of the conventions. It must have been LA Comic Con.
Yeah, he's one of our tried and true from LA Comic Con. Bought a shirt as well. So glad.
Oh,
So
and
glad
Karen
that the
Karen
supporters like
Savalabia is here and says he's ready to binge watch all 8 episodes. And Higgins, he says it's great to see a team who like one another.
It's of a labia.
Wait.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, Dan sold the shirt
even-
to Joke Pool, I guess.
I did. Well, I did just the transaction, but you wore it proudly.
So speaking of the
Where?
score, I'll just rant a little bit about the musical score.
Yes.
I wrote a temp score originally just for the sake of, for Lance, to basically time out the acting and emphasize certain things so that we know when shot cuts would happen. And just crappy little piano MIDI sound, just playing little bits of accents and things like that here and there. And surprisingly, a year later or whatever, when I went back to actually write the score, I was like, a lot of this totally works. So it was a matter of I tried to start out with each character having their own sort of instrument. Like Victoria M has harpsichord, and Roger has a old 1960s synth, like a monophonic synth, and a theremin for that science type sound. And Bernie has like surf music and a surf guitar, like bow wow 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 kind of thing with a tremolo on it, and some bongos. And Draculana has a haunted organ, like a big church organ thing. which is interesting. Here's an interesting connection I found, is that you can use the same church organ sound exactly with the pastor doing his thing or with Draculana. Yet it's a totally different feel just because of the different chords and sounds. Like if you use a different chord, it becomes evil, haunted monster organ or beautiful church organ that is like raising everybody up to heaven or something.
Can we hear a clip of each one?
Maybe. I wouldn't know how to find them within this score here. But yeah, go back and listen, and it's the same.
Yeah, in the episode.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah. Oh, definitely watching it again.
Whenever these guys stop talking, we can all go watch it.
And then the military guys had the marching snare drum. And at some point, all of the instruments kind of come together as the show goes on. They all just start blending as the monsters become more introduced together. It's kind of weaved together. But it was kind of surprising to me that really rough rhythmic score that I did, I really put very little thought into it. It was just like a sketch of like to hold it together. It ended up being the final, like, oh, I just orchestrate it and basically put it on cellos and put it on an orchestra. And it totally worked. And it's completely unrelated to the main monster theme that Professor Sylvanus Huxley has. So it's like two different worlds. It's weird. Like outside of the TV, it's one world of music, and inside, it's a totally different compositional style. I don't know if anybody even notices any of that, but from a compositional standpoint, that's what's going on. It's
That's
like
amazing.
two totally different vocabularies.
Pay attention to it when I watch it
Yeah,
again.
because then we have a whole nother viewing with a different headspace, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it again.
Chewboat asked if I'm going to release a soundtrack. I'm not sure what to do with that yet because it would be pretty short since it's only 13 minutes, and I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know what I'll do
maybe down the line.
with that yet. So the plan was to move forward with producing the next 7 episodes as a podcast / radio drama. And it gets even more melodramatic, like old-timey radio in the next 7 episodes. And so I was hoping to be able to do that even by now to like have them ready, but the COVID thing happened and Dan can't come over and record. But now I have a new studio a few miles away with a control room so I can be separate from the people. So maybe we can get back into production on that again.
Wear a hazmat suit.
And well, and since you said that, both Carl and Cole, as a SAG project, there is a way to make it SAG COVID compliant.
What if you just don't tell them? Then they don't reply to anything. Is what I'm saying. They have been terrible. If I may say, they are horrible. They are a very uncooperative organization. Sorry to say that, Dan, because I know you are a member of the organization. But yeah, that was a bizarre experience.
I will say that
going.
is, I mean, well, let's be truthful. It's 2020. If any year could drop any more truth on us, let's just be real. It is unfortunate that for an indie project, which this is, and a group of very talented, and while I have the floor, allow me to say, Lila says,
oh yeah, Lila.
Let me make sure I don't misquote her. She says, she just wanted to say that she loved being a part of this project. This is Lila Berzins, by the way. She loved being a part of the project, and kudos to the cast and crew. And I'll piggyback off of her kudos to the cast and crew, being that we are very small as an independent project. I was bummed to hear a lot of and we won't get into details, but a lot of the hang-ups that came across for Carl in getting this project to go union, because I as a professional actor here in LA, as a union actor, I wanted to be sure that the projects I'm working on are compliant. And he was thank you again. I can't thank you enough in general, Carl, but for going through the steps and the hurdles he did. It's unfortunate to hear the mishaps and that they made it so difficult. Yeah. I can understand now why I will get projects, and I'm not going to name names, and I will keep this short, but it is unfortunate to see projects that there's a big name behind it, and I go, this is non-union. And I can now relate. I'm seeing another side of how maybe these clients and these buyers that they didn't want to go through the hoops with this organization. And as much as they're there for us, and I'm not going to speak ill of the union, but it is unfortunate to hear that it wasn't a smooth process to get.
It could just be a bad apple.
It possibly could. I don't think that there's an excuse. I think that it's, every project, and I've done a lot of indie projects. These are the people that become Hollywood, that become the future. These are the people we need to allow in and give them a smooth transition, so they're not discouraged to go against the union. Because when those people feel discouraged, they're gonna end up changing the market, and it's important that projects do go union, I believe. So,
and I wanted to go union. Like
better,
I
right?
wanted to do that because
And you did.
so many of you
As you did.
guys
You were-
are union, and I didn't want to mess things up for you. So I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go through the process.
Get it.
And we got it through, but it was very difficult to make it just. Anyway, we don't need to go on about that forever.
That's it.
Yeah.
We are. It's a great. And Lila says she's proud, and I'm glad she's in this project too. It's such a great core group of people of amazing talent. I'm so happy.
Carl, are
Us too.
you going to put it up for any award ceremony type things?
You know what? I do want to. You can still submit to festivals and screen at festivals, but from what I understand, you can't be part of competitions, but you can still screen at festivals. Lance might know a little bit more about that because he's done the whole festival thing.
I would really love another one of these.
Oh, look at that! That's your award. Yeah, Oracle won some awards last year or a couple years ago.
Here, I'll hold mine
It was
too.
in 2018, right?
Look at that.
2019.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Here, let's bang them together.
Oh, clink! Cheers!
Yeah.
He was kind of wigging out for a second. I was like, "What are you holding?" There he is.
So shiny.
Yeah, I would definitely like to send it to some festivals and screen it wherever we can. I don't care about the competitions or anything. Whatever we can do to get it out there.
Love it.
I
know
need
they
to see
will.
it.
Chewboat asked a question. Did the actors
Great
have a chance
questions,
to
by the
hear
way.
any other dialogue when recording their own lines? Did Carl read lines and stand in, or neither? Well,
Carl's usually our stand-in, and it's adorable to
Yeah.
hear him say the lines
Great.
so flat.
Yeah.
Let me just read this to you. You'll get it. Yeah, just go. It's so great.
a lot of times, something that I'm really specific about, though, that I want to do is hit certain rhythms. I'm very rhythmic with my writing, and I want the dialogue to hit on a like a it's a musical thing. And so a lot of times I'll be like, you got to hit it like that, emphasize that word, like then.
Yes.
And otherwise, a lot of times the voices are just great and the delivery is great. It's just a matter of, okay, let's land on that emphasis there, or draw out that word, and then we got it.
And I'll speak to that, Carl. I just did a workshop, and here is the importance, again, for those of you just joining us that may be interested in this as a profession. Fine-tuning your instrument and staying on top of your game is important. And I was in a workout the other night, and the note I had after a take I gave was, "That was great, Dan, but your rhythm, the cadence was a little hard to follow. It was just kind of off." And it was a late night like this evening, and I'm not giving excuses, but it's my point that the musicality of what you're saying is very important. You need to follow a tempo, a cadence, and so it's imperative and very important having someone like Carl that knows not only how he envisions these individual characters. He's able to stand in on many places and put on many hats as knowing these characters and saying, as he said, this is the instrument, and so that proves your musicality. I know Draculana is this instrument, so I need her musicality to flow this way. And I know that So it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It makes it very simple for me too. We get to see, what instrument Cole has, what instrument Joanie has, and this is we learn to speak Carl.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the fun part of the process. Is like I said earlier, he just pulls that out. Like the fact that Matilda doesn't talk like at all, and she just makes these gurgly noises. He's like, I want this gurgly noise. I want this gurgly noise, and I know exactly what he's talking about. He's just awesome.
He makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you know what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know exactly what you want, and so you just nudge a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just do this a little bit. Pull back on that, and then you get it.
Wasn't it? Who was it? Alfred Hitchcock, who said that some bullshit number. 95% of directing is casting. Like I really feel like hanging out. Like Cole wasn't involved in this project from the beginning, so we were just hanging out, me and Cole, at a booth in Chicago when we were marketing that monster show, and we just had the characters behind us on a huge poster that Lance designed. And we were like, Cole was just staring at Bernie and looking at the different characters, and we were talking about voices and, well, who do you imagine doing this guy? Who do you imagine? What kind of voice do you imagine that?
Yeah.
And you were just asking me a lot of these types of questions. In the back of my mind, I was like, man, could Cole be the werewolf? Does this seem like it could that could happen? Is that gonna be it? And I was I had some other people in mind that I originally had in mind, but eventually it was just like Cole came over with Joanie, and we were screwing around in the studio doing some voices for something else. I don't even remember what we were doing.
It was for the Oracle.
Yeah.
It wasn't
We wanted
Ambulance.
me to do that. The squid hipster.
It was for the Ambulance.
Oh, Ambulance! You're talking about Ambulance. Oh,
No.
yes.
No, I mean, yeah. So we were doing, we were.
I remember Ambulance. Okay.
Anyway, no. I'm just joking. It's an inside joke. So, yeah, we were just screwing around on some other thing, and it just clicked, and it was like, oh, he's Bernie. This is it. This is the guy. Like, the voice completely fits, and looking at the character, I'm like, oh my God, that's really him. And Cole is kind of my new John Schnepp in a way. Not to say that Cole is following in someone else's footsteps, but John Schnepp played the Bloodgore character in Oracle, and he's since passed away. But I loved the way that John had this really, really nice voice with a brutal murderer beast, big barbarian guy with a huge bloody sword.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a perfect pairing of like a brutal character with this cool dude voice, like a nice voice. And then hanging out with you after John passed away, and it was suddenly being like, wow, Cole's also got that kind of, I don't know, it just works. Uh-oh. What's going on, Dan?
Sorry, no. I'm going to apologize to Mr. West, our friend Joke Pool. I was on social. I realized I hadn't been following him. Shame on me. I've been very neglectful of my social.
Anyway, point is, Cole ended up fitting in perfectly and did an awesome job.
Well cast.
And
well
he's
cast,
really
casting
like
director.
It's
wherever that guy is.
It's some of my favorite
Carl
lines in the show are Cole, and it's just knowing that, okay, I know what Cole can do, and he's going to do this really well.
And this is a
it's
nod
great.
to Cole, if I may talk some more, because it only to pad and make your ego bigger, both of you, Carl and Cole.
There it goes.
To casting and to Cole, because Cole, you said it earlier, Bernie's not a far stretch from who Cole is in his natural voice, and
Right.
a lot of people think like this animation cartoon business is like, who can I sound like?
Yeah.
Can I make it funny? I'm not going to
Yeah.
do it, because there's a guy that does that. His name's
Yeah.
Tom Kinney. He's shown us how you can make SpongeBob's laugh.
Yeah.
He's shown you that because he wants you to do that. And you know what? I would love to hear the impressions of those later on. Come and do that monster show impressions of Bernie and of Matilda and of the professor. I'd love to hear them, because play, have fun, and learn.
Yeah.
But know that you don't have to do a bunch of funny, crazy voices. How many voices did I do in this show? How many tattoos do I have? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Cole does Bernie so well because guess what, folks? It's Cole. It's Cole to a degree. It's Cole in an animated wolf form, but he doesn't have to do anything here and make it extra work. It's just act.
Yeah.
Well, and it's his personality too. Like he's like just your best friend that you just want to hang out with.
But not
all
only
the
that,
time.
he played Alligator Earl perfectly. So it's like a matter of
Thank you.
Take this person who's good at that and stick them there, and then you're done. Like it all, and it's. I feel like a lot of times I can just count on you guys to do a really good job. With you're kind of saving my ass in a lot of situations.
These characters
Thanks,
live
guys.
inside of us. Like I feel like they're parts of us that
Yeah.
like you just emphasize on, honestly.
Yeah.
Like Arcana was just this like I wanted to be Miss Alabama when I grew up.
Yeah.
And so like I took that and all my anger and I put that into there. And then Matilda's me when I'm being really, really weird and hyper.
Oh, yeah.
And so like it's
Lots of
they're
caffeine.
inside. Yeah.
And Joanie on caffeine is Matilda. You can't understand anything she's saying. It's all high pitched at like dog whistle levels.
But they live inside of
Yeah.
us and you bring them to life. It's just so fun. It's fun to be
Yes.
a part of.
I really love this this profile picture I'm seeing. This profile shot of Roger.
Which one's that? Just over here?
For you, yeah. I was noticing that just his jawline and everything. He looks a little different from there, from a 3/4 or front on right there.
All the angles.
The two of them. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, Lance really moved
when
the camera around.
While I was watching this, I'll be honest. Once again, I was watching this as we were setting up a Halloween window display, and everyone was hearing it, but not really watching it over on Magnolia Boulevard at a particular shop. And everyone said, "This it sounds like you're watching Saturday morning cartoons." And then look
Yes.
over and like this. It looks like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
And it is Saturday, not morning, but it is morning for the monsters in Florida.
Good work, Lance.
And so nailed it.
Yeah.
And I could listen to Dan's voice all day.
It's like butter.
And I think you picked the perfect person to like just you want to sit back and listen to this like radio show, but you also get the thrill of watching it too.
Yeah, the professor's just perfect.
Oh, I love
it's
it.
just I remember that's somebody was
remember
asking
that,
about watching other people's or listening to other people's dialogue. And I remember we watched Dan's. You had recorded him and you were showing us and you're really excited about it.
It was so
and we were
good.
like, holy
It just
ravioli.
gets you into it.
And you had the
Yeah.
and it was just this beautiful it was amazing. And I was like, well,
It
glad you
sets the
found him.
tone. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
It just sets the tone for the whole thing and just gets you prepared for what you're about to like go on this adventure. And it's just I love it. I love it so much.
Wild ride.
What the heck was I going to say? I was
Amazing.
going to say something. I was going to try to bring it back to Lance.
I'm going to
again
Venmo
somehow.
you, Cole, really quick. I'm going to send you that.
Oh, you bet.
$50. Thank you for saying all that, guys. Beautiful. I think I asked Carl once I saw this fabulous Carl Swarso fucking shirt of this design. I'm so proud to wear it. It's going to be my back tattoo. My whole back doesn't have a tattoo yet.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the piece that's going to go on there. Thank you, Lance. You can autograph my back with a tattoo gun. I'll call you the day. But when I saw this logo, I was like, did he animate it because he saw me do this in the video? My ego, like I assumed he saw the video of me doing this, as Cole said. Like I don't know, I don't know where that came from. It just
You got it.
I don't think you did, right? You just it was so. It's amazing how some things are like maybe symbiotic.
Yeah. It was like you're a puppeteer.
But on the next one, you know, if the timing is right, if the production lines up, it would be great to have the videos, you know, of you acting all of you.
For you to
know?
animate to it.
Yeah.
There's so many times. I mean, and that's to.
I wasn't
point
sure
to
if that actually helps or
games.
not, or if that throws you off.
It totally
Lance.
does. Lance, I mean, you said you worked in games, and I haven't really been in the void, the space for performance capture as much as I've done and dabbled in games, but I've done enough to where I know that, the facial capture stuff and to see, how people act. And I've already said it, I won't go into it again. This isn't, voiceover 101. Physicality and speech and everything, or to see how somebody moves their mouth. The professor, he kind of became very, almost somewhere between, early on was kind of Bill Cosby-esque, and there was a lot in the mouth and forward, and then he kind of became David Attenborough to a degree.
Yes.
I found more. I feel very narrator-esque, and so so I don't know how it helps, but
That's
Carl,
basically-
you're all set up in this new studio too, which could be a place for the next 7 episodes to be recorded
behind
at.
the scenes on
It's
Patreon
possible.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Lance, I wanted to also make sure you know that the idea is that if we produce these 7 episodes as a radio drama, I would theoretically be able to pretty easily edit them into a version that would then be animated. So they'd be able to be converted without a ton of work.
Yeah.
So that eventually we could say, hey, let's turn them into animation down the road.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I have to sign off, guys.
Yep, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
It's 2-hour mark. So thank you, Lance, for joining us.
Wow.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for that.
Yeah, so
It
great
was
to
great
meet you,
to
Lance.
meet you guys, and to put
the
a
family's here.
face with the voices that I've had in my head for months and months and months. Great. Yeah, really great. You guys are amazing. So I'm
So are you.
happy to be a part of this
I'm a
team.
big fan. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, good
night,
night,
Lance.
Lance. And thanks to everybody else who I've seen like subscribers happening here.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works exactly. I haven't seen the results of that, but I've seen subscriptions popping up on Twitch. And so that's good.
So that's good.
Good.
Usually
I
I'm
can
a
bring it
lot
down
more
again.
usually I'm a lot more in touch with the people that are commenting and all this, but it was a lot of interaction and a lot of messages, so it was a little bit overwhelming.
Thanks for interacting, guys.
Yeah, that was fun.
Aw, I
Yeah.
love this.
Wait, Joe
Little
Pool,
family.
Mr. West, is something of video footage, and I said of, and he said of Carl doing the stand-ins. Oh, we need.
Oh my god.
You need the
Yeah.
video
Oh, it
of me
was
saying say
so
it like
fun.
this
So
in a boring voice.
we need that actually. We need that on air. We need to be rolling when you read opposite of us.
The only
Yeah.
thing is,
Is
I
that
feel
what-
like
is that
that's
what
so.
you're asking for?
I just feel like it's so
Carl.
distracting in the room to have video going at the same time as trying to.
No, well, not video.
Focus
Maybe
on-
just rolling. We just have maybe the audio. I don't know.
Well, we
if
have audio of all of that stuff of me in between talking.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
uh,
so that's. I think that's
She's
what he's asking for.
Like way in the
Yes.
background.
I love it. Oh, that's so fun. I would love to like hear that. Just to like relive those memories.
I'm
It's
just
like-
so laser focused when we're recording voices that I'm just I can't. I just need to. I'm just sitting there like this the whole time, just like, did that word sound right? Did that make sense? But yeah, thank you everybody who watched all this stuff. Omar, thank you. Papa John, Papa Jobro.
Papa Joe.
My dad.
Yeah.
That's done.
Hey, Dad.
Thank you, Karen Sivalabia.
I love that he's on here. I'm sorry. Who is it, Carl? Didn't have my cans on, right?
I can't say that name again, I don't think.
So there's only allotted number. You can say it. I think we need to say it as Professor. All right, we'll get to that.
Oh, guys.
Wow.
What a
Bye,
great
Wonderful.
show.
Bye,
And
chat.
that Nightbot is amazing.
Is Nightbot doing going crazy?
Wonderful job, Nightbot.
Yes.
Here's a round of applause for Nightbot.
Yeah.
Make sure you get
Thanks,
your
Nightbot.
merch. Watch the
Yeah,
video
merch
on
up.
YouTube. Share
I
it
am
with your
gonna merch
friends.
Get that shirt.
The season is coming where you're gonna want a long sleeve, hoodie. Look at that.
Yes.
Getting chill.
There was
I know we're
a
gonna
magical
get
sound.
matching ones.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
glad to be here, Carl. Thank you for inviting.
Yes. And Dan, what a treat.
Yes.
We didn't think we'd get to see
Good to
you.
guys. I haven't seen you guys since the con.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
So excited to see. I was like, ah!
So on to the 29th, I believe, we're all going to get together on here again.
Looks creepy.
We're going to try to get everybody at
29th?
once.
Let's do it.
All of us?
All of us.
Make it happen,
all the
Captain.
full cast and crew all
Oh
at
my
one
goodness.
time.
What a mess.
We're gonna have to have like a talking pillow that you pass through
Talking pillow?
through the camera.
It's the foot.
Yeah, it's the foot.
That would be weird if I was
Oh,
able to
yeah, it's
hand
the
it
first one off a
across
Kickstarter. Or off the
weird Brady Bunch
we
thing.
suggested we're gonna make the plushie. The plushie foot.
Yeah.
Oh, a script reading.
Oh, that would
Omar
be
says a
scripted.
script read.
That would be fun. Yeah, to
Wow,
read episode
okay.
1 again.
That'd
Everybody?
be really
Oh my
fun.
God. Or to read or as characters reading a different script. Somebody suggests it's
Yeah.
That's fun.
that's for the con. Save that for the con. Sorry. I got jumped ahead of
Interesting.
myself. Omar in
Alright,
the UK.
calm
Great
down.
idea. But yeah, we got to come. Sorry.
This green bubbly has
All
taken
right,
a hold
so
of me.
let me real quick just run through the stuff that's at the bottom of that monstershow.com for our viewers that are left. If you could all do these things to help us out, any of these things you can do. Number 1, watch the show on YouTube, like it, and leave a nice comment or review, because we're trying to make that get as many likes and positive comments as we can, so that when the agents click on it and see it, say, hey, a lot of people really seem to like this. Let's take this to the network. There seems to be a demand for it. Number 2, tell your friends about the show. Share the YouTube link. Number 3, order some merch from the shop. You can order some T-shirts, some hoodies, just in time for Halloween, for the cool season that might happen. It might get cold this year. We don't know. We don't know yet.
Because of global warming, for sure. That's
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Too warm.
You can join my Patreon, which is an easy way to support the creative projects. Or you can just send a donation to paypal.me/CarlKingdom. But anyway, spread the word. Help us continue making this show somehow. Get the word out. If anybody knows a TV agent, producer, manager, someone that can get us into a meeting with Netflix, Hulu, Shudder, some sort of streaming network, someone out there has
Cute
an
Sarah
agent
McLaughlin.
friend that would talk to us. So,
Thanks, Joe Pool.
Joke
so
pool.
do that.
For
Well
just
done,
25
sir.
cents.
Presidential thumbs up.
In the arms of an angel.
So
Biggest fan.
let's try to get this thing on TV or a streaming service. That is the goal.
Yes.
Yes, we can do this. I know we can.
Yeah, someone out there knows the person
Someone
that can
out
make
You know,
it
it
happen.
could be your neighbor.
Yeah.
They could be standing right behind you in Starbucks.
Just talk to him.
Just start talking
Say,
to people.
hey,
I mean,
You
Wear a mask.
I've
we're
met
back.
Tom Cruise's brother,
Hmm.
but I haven't met Tom
Oh.
Cruise. But I'm
Bob
only
Cru-
I'm only 1 degree. Is that 2 degrees away from Tom Cruise at this
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
So I was this
2
close.
degrees of Tom.
So someone out there knows a TV agent or knows someone who knows a TV agent that can help.
You know this guy. You know who's coming with us.
So everyone, go through your
Who's
phone
going to
right
make
now.
this show big?
Scroll through the telephone.
Scientology's great.
Your person
Who's com-
that. Whoa.
whoa.
Sorry, Carl.
Carl.
Sorry, Carl. Carl's got a threshold
Whoa.
from vegan.
Whoa,
it's from
whoa,
vegan.
whoa.
It's from vegan to whoa.
Whoa.
In 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
We've lost Cole. He's off screen.
That's right.
Oh,
It's
God,
a
I was
dumb
drinking
fix.
water. I didn't think people wanted to watch it.
Oh,
Didn't want to see him cold from his water
hook us
fountain.
up or you're going back in the trunk, Omar says.
Huh?
Hook us up or you're going back in the trunk.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway,
Make it
if I
happen.
haven't said it enough times, someone out
Yes.
there knows a TV agent or a manager,
At Matilda
a creative
in her
manager,
eye.
or
Come
a
on.
producer or someone who can get us into a network to pitch the show or help us pitch it. So,
Soups, you got to make it happen.
Make it happen,
When's the
Captain.
next episode? It's As soon as
the money gets here.
Funded.
Yeah.
Yep. If it's
as we get
funded,
the money.
it happens. Hey, buddy.
Whoa.
Now, Carl, as a teaser before we go, because I do see I'm creeping up on 2 hours.
Yes.
Will the rest of those episodes? Is there a possibility to tease the people? Is there a possibility in the future, as that studio is ready, and maybe there's an ability for us to all come together as a group record, to record those in the upcoming future? At least maybe episode 2.
Well, I've already recorded almost everything of everyone except for you. So you're like the last guy who has to come in and do 8 characters or whatever for for seven episodes. So we got to get you to do all of your professor stuff, all of your general or whatever his name was, the sheriff, all of those characters. You've got to do
Hellstrom.
7
Assistant
full episodes.
director.
Yeah, director Hellstrom, assistant director AJ Rodman. All of these names have significance, by the way. All the names have significance within the horror
Dennis Rodman.
within the
Dennis
horror
Rodman.
the horror community. They're all references to something within the horror community. All inside jokes.
Inside jokes.
We gotta put those in the book too.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
I want a
facts.
book. I want a
Fun
coffee
fact.
book.
Yes.
With a
I
breakdown
agree.
of every character,
Mhm.
designs,
Little fun facts.
a full Lance drawing.
Next Saturday, no Chicago Superman.
I wish.
The next episode.
Well, if we had enough money, it could happen.
Yeah.
If we had enough animators,
Make it
enough
rain.
animation directors, enough voice acting sessions, we could turn it around that fast.
That is
South
true.
Park does it.
They do.
Yeah.
If they can, we can.
But you guys will have to come and see this huge studio I have now.
Yeah, I want to see it.
It's like bigger than my house. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. All
And
right.
you know
It's a
how big my
digital
house is. Whoa, right?
Whoa. Is Frank freaking out?
Oh, my
Frank used to
Frankie.
go to the old studio with me. Can you come to Carl Clean? Yeah, Chicago Superman. You can come over there and work on the Discord channel
There you go.
group thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, I feel like I'm just dragging this on forever. So thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, I got to go watch a cartoon.
Yeah.
I got to go watch my new favorite cartoon that's out there. So I don't know about the rest of you.
Oh, me too.
Yep. I want to watch it again. Got to talk to family because they're gonna be really excited about it. So.
Yeah, my phone was blowing up.
They're so.
All right.
excited.
So we're going to be
How many
doing more of
texts?
these throughout the month. So
Come
We'll
back
see
and
you
join
here.
us.
Subscribe.
My friends, Dan, Carl.
It's so good to see you guys. We love
So
you.
great to see you guys. And yeah, I love your shirt, Cole,
Thank you. I love yours.
and the outfit, Joanie. Yeah, but we all are so themed. That's the thing, Carl. Next time, not to plug anything. Everybody's got to come themed Halloween style because Halloween's a little different this year. I'm not going to say it's gone, but let's have a.
by the
you
way,
know,
there's the Matilda emotes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, the emotes. I have.
You
them.
have them. Make it happen.
yes,
Yeah.
more behind the scenes stuff for the next.
Boom. There's the Matilda emotes. Yep.
You did the same number, too. Look at you guys.
Whoa.
How serendipitous.
5. Nice.
Bye, Soups.
The number of
Bye,
power.
Karen Savalabia.
Those are so amazing.
Thank you, Karens. All right, everybody. Thank you.
Aw,
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night,
Thanks.
everyone. Good night.
Bye, friends.
Good night.
Be safe, everybody. Hey,
Bye.
that's
Good
Mike.
night.
Good night, Mike.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Love you. We'll see you.
Okay, see you later. All right.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye,
okay,
buddy.
bye.
From
Okay.
Cleveland, Ohio, channel WOLC TV, channel 6, this is Professor Sylvanus Huxley saying good night